Okay, friends, today we're going to talk about the disappearance of Amy Bradley. With the new Netflix documentary exposing the disappearance of Amy Bradley, there are more eyes on this than ever before. We're going to dive in to see what happened to Amy on that March 24th, 1998, when she went missing. So Amy was a little apprehensive about getting on that cruise ship, and I'm going to talk about why a little bit later. But once she did embark, she had the most amazing time. She was laughing, she was dancing, mingling, being very social. In fact, the night before she disappeared, she was dancing on the dance floor. She was dancing with the bassist of the band several times. His nickname rhymes with Mellow. So she was dancing with him several times. I feel like he was getting a little bit flirty from what people were saying. Her brother went up to bed around 3:30. She followed him shortly thereafter. So they sat on the deck chit-chatting, probably talking about the trip, how fun it's been, that there was no need for her to worry. She was feeling a little nauseous, so she decided to stay out on the deck while he went inside. So there are some theories that she went overboard. Now, I don't believe this is true. She had a lot going on. She was very excited, and she wasn't going to be a big fan of that water. But I do believe the bassist may have reached out and texted or phoned her to say, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee this morning. Let's catch up before we land. So I think that is probably what happened. In fact, her dad woke up and he saw the lower part of her body, so he knew she was there. And then about 30 minutes later, I believe it's around 6 a.m., he looks and she's not there. And there's just something in his gut that's telling him something is wrong. Now, at the same time, we have a passenger, Lori Thompson, and her friend who literally witnessed Alistair with Amy. So we have Alistair Douglas, who is the bassist, with Amy. They see them both go into the Grand Lounge, and they only see Alistair return. So that in itself is very suspicious. She wouldn't have stayed in the lounge by herself. So the family asked immediately, like, hey, can we say something? Put out a siren, do something. The ship was like, yeah, no, we're not going to alarm everyone. We're not going to do that. So they land, they let everybody disembark. They let everybody off. So if there's any witnesses, there's anything suspicious, they're all just kind of getting off at one time. They then ask for a thorough search of the cruise ship for Amy. Supposedly they did that, but it later came to light that they didn't, right? It later came to light that that's not what happened. Plus, if Alistair had something to do with this, he would know exactly where to hide her body, right? He knows the cruise ship. Then, on top of that, when he returned, his daughter has later said she's not so sure about her dad's innocence because his wife, her mother, said he was acting very, very suspicious. He was acting very funny, and he had a bag full of photos of Caucasian women. Now, what also happened, the family said, is, the ship, when they do all the family photos and everything, on that ship, all of Amy's photos were gone. So that is suspect in itself. And I'd love to know if the mom had seen a photo of Amy in that bag. That would have been very, very telling. But I don't believe Amy left that ship. I believe he made a sexual advance towards her. I believe she struggled, she rebuffed, she wasn't going to head and lean into his advances. I know there's some speculation about her being sex trafficked and in a brothel. I know there was a Navy person or someone in the military that said she came up to him. I don't believe any of this is what happened. I believe Amy was on that ship. I believe that she was disposed of when everybody was disembarked. And it's extremely sad. And I want to say I'm wrong. I want to hope I'm wrong. I want to say, hey, these sightings. But if you look at the lady that they're saying this is her, it's not. If you look at the nose and you look at the upper lip, it is not her. There's another photo of another lady in a national park that they're saying is her. Amy is a smart woman. She was smart, she was strong, she would have put up a fight, and if she is alive, she would have found her way home. It's been 27 years. She would have found a way to get off that island and back home to her family. So I do believe they will reunite with Amy. I would love for it to be in the physical realm, but I believe it will come in the spiritual realm. And I believe Amy somehow in her deep intuitive knew something nefarious was going to happen. Let's pray for Amy. Let's pray for her family that there will be closure and justice for Amy. Oh, and if you didn't know, Alistair just happens to be a reverend of a church now. Isn't that suspect? Right? If someone's looking to turn their life around, to find redemption from God, to find forgiveness from God for any acts, being a reverend of a church after being a bassist in a band might just be a hint that there's something more that he may be hiding. So, follow the podcast Medium and Murder as we look between the lines to see what happened in these cases. We want to give a voice to the voiceless.